back. What do I want to talk about? Okay, so for a time, I became very obsessed with dark things. I go into more details as to why I did that, into my very wordy intellectual essays that I create to explain things that people tend not to like because, it's very intellectual, and like I had, I happened to have a father who was very intellectual, who is very intellectual, and um, I have that capacity, because he's a really clever guy, and so like and I suppose I take for granted, and I suppose if I kept putting out that kind of content, more people would be drawn to that, and I don't think I'll stop, but because I want to do it all, I want to do it all. I want to share me talking and chilling, and I also want to get super intellectual with stuff sometimes, for the people that get it, and yeah, so. But yeah, no, I kind of go into why I was into dark stuff in the other videos, and to summarize it, it's basically that I think, I mean, I think it's just curiosity. I feel like you learn a lot, and I don't know, but I don't want to put it just down to learning or something like that. It makes it sound too like, it sounds a bit too brutal. It's more just that, yeah, I felt I needed to, and also I don't know, it's cool. Dark stuff is kind of cool. Um, but then also when I think about um, who I would be if I felt like I was abundant, right? I have a funny relationship with that word. It's overused by everyone, and it's usually by people who are like trying to like find my abundance, like so many people are like so desperate to feel that. Um, and I feel like I've literally gone in the opposite direction. I've like, whereas like, because I noticed that people were so desperate to feel like abundant, and like they're going in the right direction. I intentionally went into what is considered the wrong direction. Look as pale as possible, be as colorless, as drained, and as empty. Everything is as cold and as like fight or flight inducing as possible. Just because, I don't know, you don't want to live your life in fear, And I think many people live in fear of that kind of experience, and maybe I did. So I just wanted to be like, right, well, how does it feel to just like create this experience of semi living on the edge, and that's what the darkness was. It was a way of invoking this kind of, and just living the kind of fear that I feel like a lot of people that try and chase abundance are avoiding. All that said, like, you don't, it's not somewhere you want to live forever, and I don't think you need to live that way forever. I think my imagination, our imagination, is extremely powerful, and the kind of worlds that I was fascinated by for a very long time were kind of post-apocalyptic, which sounds very, I don't know, that can sound however it sounds. But yeah, I was kind of fascinated by aesthetics, and I still think they're very cool and very interesting. But energetically, like the energy that kind of aesthetic imbues in you is very. I mean, it's kind of abundance repellent. You know what I mean? Like, because by its very nature, because it's just like. I mean, when I think of abundance, for me, there are like bright colors and kind of just a sense of well-being. When I think of abundance, I just get this kind of, it's just kind of a state of well-being. And when I think about that state of well-being, who I would be, the way I would dress, it's quite, I mean, it's more me than I am now, because in a sense the past few years have been an experience of, I suppose, not me, or I suppose maybe a side of me, shadow me, like dark, like me, whatever. But that state of well-being that I imagine myself in is probably no. I mean, it is more me than the me I have been. So what is that? It's kind of peaceful, colorful, joyful, beautiful, kind of more chill, you know. But this is the thing, though. I didn't want to miss my chance to experience the madness of like living in this fight or flight way. The problem is it's dangerous to advocate for it because it's just such a crazy thing, and like I don't know if like so many people have experiences with that kind of vibe, that kind of like crazy energy, crying all the time, like kind of unstable vibe that like half the time they just want to run away from it and never look back, and I understand that. So I don't know. I suppose really like what was and is like explorative for me is more. It's not really something I can stand behind for wholeheartedly because it's not really the most positive message I could like spread. And the most positive message I really could spread is, well, I mean, it's kind of what I'm trying to move towards now. It's like moving away from, or moving toward a state of being that is, and I suppose it's all just, for me, it's just imagination. It's just like, when I imagine myself like abundant, I don't imagine myself like um, dressing the same way or feeling the same way about reality. I imagine myself being a much more peaceful, really, because I'm and I suppose happy, but that's kind of not really the point. I think just more like peaceful. Really, I'm kind of a peaceful person, I guess. But yeah, I think imagination is very powerful, and I've been using my imagination in ways that create reality in such a way that it's very. But I wanted it, so I can't really complain. But then also, like, you don't want to invalidate your present reality by like implying that there's something wrong with what I've created, because there isn't. Because I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that that dark stuff is undeniably cool. But then when I think about, no. You know what it is? What I'm actually beginning to realize is that feeling negative is only slightly worse than feeling positive. That's why it's actually hard to, because actually all the crazy ways that you can navigate negative spaces, like by excessive crying or and like these kind of bipolar highs and lows, it's actually quite exciting. It's quite like it's quite a roller coaster. It's quite enjoyable. As crazy as that sounds, it's actually a lot of fun. So because of that, when I actually look at it objectively, and because there are times where I've been very positive and happy, so I can compare, I have to say that, and I think it's the reasons why people get trapped in negativity so much, because it's actually quite enjoyable in a certain way. There are all these, the coping mechanisms that you use, the ups, the downs, the kind of the movement, and unless it becomes truly like devastatingly negative, like when people come off hard drugs like heroin or something like that's not to make it too intense, but that's like that's like devastatingly difficult to deal with. Some people even die in that space. But I guess, but like just generally, I think the reason why people stay in negative states is because of how there's actually you get a lot more. You're actually getting a lot more from the state than you think. I've come to understand and believe and see. Like that's kind of what I see. Like you get a lot more from being negative than it appears. You know, and so that's why I can't be like, oh, that was then, and it was kind of and there's this better thing now. It's like actually no, like the thing I've been indulging in is understandably attractive. Like negative, like that's the truth I've come to understand about the negative positive poles duality. You might say is that negativity has its it has its it is very, very equal in entertainment value to the positive when looked at from above, you know? So, like, you know what I mean? Like, just yesterday, I was feeling utterly numb. Like, no, the exact phrasing I remember was being like, everything just feels pointless. Not hopeless, because that's too dramatic, not like terrible, but just pointless, you know? And that was while I was smoking so many cigarettes and just being like, And then, you know, the very next day, you know, I've got to wean myself off cigarettes again, blah blah blah, all this stuff, which I've done so many times before. The point is that I think that's why people get stuck in negative cycles so much. Now I begin to see, because they're actually pretty fun. They have a lot going for them. There's a lot actually going on that makes them, and so that's. I always felt discomfort trying to distance myself from previous negative action, because doing that implies like it wasn't that interesting. But in all honesty, it kind of was. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. Otherwise, people wouldn't do it. You know, like the world wouldn't. I think, and that's why I think the world is actually as negative as it is in a way, because although as painful as it might be on the surface, or as like in when people get in their conscious minds about what's going on in their lives, they're very quick to be like, oh, you know, I hate this, I don't like it. But then if they actually take a minute and like get all overviewy about it and really start feeling into what they really feel about it, they'd go like, oh shit, yeah, actually there's a lot. Like it definitely has its charms. So, you know, and I think, yeah, yeah. I think to, yeah, yeah. I don't know what else I can say. Actually, no, I do. Yeah, I think with all that in mind, the only rational conclusion to come to, with all taking all of that into account, like recognizing that ultimately comes to the conclusion that as however much like shit people give exploring the darker side, negative side of reality, how much people say, oh, that's terrible, that's bad. It's like there's a reason why people get caught in it, and so when I say that I want to be more positive, which sounds very generic, really I just want to there's like an inner state of harmony that I've lived before, and that's kind of who I am, you know, and I've kind of eschewed that intentionally because I wanted to explore darker things. Well, you know, I kind of like in a sense, living without well-being is kind of what I did or have done, because inner well-being radiates outer well-being. True abundance is kind of well-being, you know. You can have loads of money and not feel good about it, so then what's more important than money is probably well-being, and so inner well-being is the most important thing. And inner well-being is the one thing I've been sacrificing for the sake of exploring this darker realm, because I think that's kind of what exploring the darker realm is, isn't it? It's like you just decide to, oh yeah, there's that comfort thing where you like enjoy being yourself, and you appreciate yourself, and you kind of, it's like, how about put that to one side and just explore this kind of crazy, horrible, prickly, like kind of nightmare land, you know, like fuck it, you know, like you want to do it, I wanted to do it, like let's go to nightmare land, let's go to horror movie land, let's go to scary land, you know, let's go to the, let's do it, you know. But then eventually you just think like, well, how much can you um but it's, yeah, that's, I can't help but come back to that, the notion that it is really just, it really is just like, you know, a theme park, or like going into a haunted house. It's just, that's exactly what exploring dark stuff is. And I don't think you can like change that until you, I felt like I couldn't change it until I realized how much fun it was. And I think it also just validates, yeah, again, I'm repeating myself a bit, but just how like why so many people get stuck in negativity, because it definitely just has its charms. And also, if you don't like prime yourself to be in a state where you feel like it's easy to receive positivity, then yeah, you're just going to constantly repel it, because it definitely just has its charm, like fight or flight, like being in all these crazy moods and states and feelings. It's it's exciting, you know. But yeah, and I think no, that's the takeaway. Like I feel like the right thing to say would be like, but I'm done with that now. And there's all this nonsense. It's like, nah, man, like that's not the right attitude. It's not the right attitude. I feel like it's so much more powerful and righteous to just be like, no, I'm actually very grateful for that, because I am extremely grateful for the experiences I've had. And I think that's just the better way to leave it behind, so to speak, is just by being grateful. Because the more you try and say that was then, this is now, just all this kind of, this is all, that's all very heavily based in denial and like trying to get away from it when there's nothing. Like, get away from what? Like the like it like darkness and like pain is like metal as fuck. Like it's awesome. Like feeling that on edge, feeling that, like crying all the time. It's like, it feels fucking amazing, man. It feels like it just, like, I think many people want to have an experience like like a gripping. It's like the same people eat fucking super hot chilies. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's just like, oh fuck. It has so much going for it. It's really understandable. You know. But then I know there's like a discrepancy or some kind of misunderstanding inside of me when I think about how, when I imagine like myself being abundant, which is like well-being, like how would my life manifest if I, because it's the thing, I quite like my life, but there's a sense of well-being that I don't have because I haven't fostered it. I haven't like, as you can see, it's like Seattle grunge like vibe. It's like everything. Like, I haven't fostered like a nice vibe on purpose because I didn't want to, because I was so enthralled with like dark stuff. So I was just like, fuck it, let's just go crazy. And it's like, so I didn't foster any of that. And I've actively eschewed things that induce like well-being. There was a time where I had paintings which were like blood red, and then I was like, it was so fucking intense. It was so cool, man. It was just so like, it was just like, going into my room took like fortitude in and of itself. Like, it was just like, oh my god, like waking up every day and just seeing like canvases with blood dripping down. It was just like, wow, man, this is so like, like I wanted my room to be as much like a haunted house as I wanted it to be as like apocalyptic and just like grey and like just all the negative stuff. You know what I mean? As possible. And but having experienced all that, I noticed that the one thing that was missing was well-being. Just that, really. When I look at it from the top down, it's like, you could say, "Oh, I wish I had more money." No, I'm like, money came in. That's how I afforded all these fucking outfits. You know what I mean? And like this computer and all the things. It's like, no, money wasn't really the issue. The issue, really, more than anything, was whilst I got to experience all these crazy flavors and all these unusual things, the thing that I didn't have was well-being the whole time. Like, as a matter of fact, it's almost like the entire experience of that dark underworld vibe was like the hinge. It all rested upon not feeling a sense of well-being. Like, that was the deal. It's like, yeah, you get to go to hell, but you don't get to feel good about it. Like, not really. Like, you get to see all the craziness and all the like madness, but that sense of like peace and unification internally and harmony, yeah, you don't get that. That's the deal. Like, you get to go to hell. You get to, because hell's cool, man. What do you want me to say? Like, like hell is cool. It looks better. It's sexy. It's crazy. It's cool. But it's just, but the price is, the price is discomfort. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's the ticket. That's the ticket you pay. It's like, to get in to the theme park ride of darkness is like your comfort. You just can't be comfortable, man. You have to always be like frazzled. You have to just always be like, I've just woke up. Fuck. I'm in hell. Okay, where's my sword? Like, get away from me, demons. Hooray! No, yes. I hate this. I love this. You know, this is horrible. Great. Oh my god, it's so horrible. I love it. I hate it. It's like ah ah. Oh my god, go gross. Give me more. You know. So yeah. So yeah, as you can clearly see, I enjoyed myself and it is fun and stuff. But at the same time, you know, you want some well-being. You want some well-being. You know, I want some well-being. You know, I guess when I look inside and I think about the vibe and reality I've kind of created, it's like, yeah, it's good, it's good. And the thing is, having experienced so much darkness, I do feel a little bit aloof towards people that are so invested in well-being, because I see that and I go like, you, have you seen that? Like, have you seen that? Like, like I don't know. You're a bit quick to dismiss something that you haven't experienced before. Like, it's pretty fun, man. Like, there's a reason why people get lost in the dark, because it's a very crazy flavor of drink, you know. So, but nevertheless, I have to like, you know, but take away my whole like, have you seen that? Like, what do you like, you know? It's like I have to admit, you know, the people that are embroiled in well-being, maybe I don't relate to being that in it, or maybe I do. I don't know. I don't know. You know, like maybe, well, not maybe. Like when I think about embodying well-being more, for whatever reason, it's generally a pretty positive vibe, you know, and I don't think there is any darkness there, which seems very counter to everything I've just said, you know, because I've just spent like the past half an hour, however, 20 minutes explaining how amazing darkness is and all this stuff. But then when I think about actually experiencing well being, it's just kind of not like that, you know, when I imagine it. Um, I don't, I don't see it. I don't see any remnants of that reality, of that kind of crazy, chaotic stuff that I was talking about in that reality. I just kind of see a lot of peace and a lot of harmony. I guess I don't know. I don't know. You know, um, I don't really know if there's a balance, if there's meant to be a balance. Like, you know, I think the issue is that I want to experience like well being, right? But I don't want to experience the kind of fake well being that a lot of people experience, because it's just like performative well being, and a lot of people do it. It's like it's like you experience well being because you fear not experiencing it, and so that's not really freedom, is it? You don't even know what you're running from. You're just chasing positivity because you don't want to feel negative, you know. And 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 I don't know. Like if you let yourself feel negative, you might find that it's actually quite. It's not as bad as you think. So therefore, you can actually embody well-being more thoroughly because you're not even afraid of the alternative. You know. But again, um, that's up to people. You know, I just don't understand it. It's like I feel like some people, like especially, I don't want to get too much into English culture or whatever, but I just feel like some people, they're raised in comfort, and I think deep down they are interested about the other side, but they just don't, like they're just too afraid of losing what they have to even realize they couldn't lose it anyway. You know, like you can't really, like if you're blessed enough to have an inner world which is harmonious, even if you experience disharmony, there's a high chance, unless it's like extremely overwhelming, you'll retain that inner coherence, you know. So I don't understand why people like, there's just a lot of imbalance in the world, you might say. Like it's like being positive out of fear of being negative. I think that's kind of a negative thing, you know, being positive just because you're afraid of being negative. I don't know how good a thing that is. So to remedy that for myself, I just let myself go, as you've seen, as has been the case. But having done that and coming to conclusions which are highly unusual, the main one being that like negativity is actually a lot of fun. So it's not because most people like they want to stay positive and the negativity is really bad, like avoid that and stay always good and above water, right? But when you realize how fun negativity is, it's like this very neutral choice to choose between the two. Like it's not so charged. It's not like, oh my god, I'm positive and I don't want to fall down. It's just like, well, like you can do that, but let's just keep doing this because, like, yeah, you know, instead of being afraid and all like polarized and like, yes, I'm happy, but I don't want to be unhappy. So because I felt like I was like that, especially when I was younger, like I felt like I didn't know how to manage darkness, and that bothered me as someone who, contrary to how I might seem or have seemed for a while, like this kind of crazed guy who's like obsessed with darkness. Like I actually used to be a pretty, and I still, I don't know, I consider myself kind of a bubbly, positive person. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about that. I hope this has been interesting, whatever. And I'm happy to show my face again and talk again. Because that's, oh man, my haircut's funny. Because that's cool, man. It's always been fine. People respond to that more, and why not give people what they want? Because I don't actually mind doing this at all. It's actually quite fun for me. I get some shit off my chest, and people seem to enjoy me talking. So I guess I'll just keep doing it. It's just that simple. I think, and I don't want to go into this too much, but yeah, I don't know why it bothered me so much to be sexualized. Because, and the reason why I bring that up is because I'm like I can't be too mad, at the people that sexualize me, because I have done sexual things. So like, but it did make me really angry because it's like, because the reason why I was doing sexual stuff was to liberate myself. It's like it was a yes, genuinely, like, yeah, maybe there was some element of wanting to seem a certain way, but ultimately I was doing it as a way of freeing myself. It's like, I have nothing to hide. Look at me. I don't give a shit. Well, not look at me, but it's more like it was a form of liberation. Like I was trying to liberate myself in posting me naked and all that kind of shit. I was trying to just like free myself. But then people understandably took it to mean like, oh, he's gonna get all sexy now, and I kind of it's like, yeah, I guess, but like the point was, it's like a self-growth tool. It's like a self-liberation tool, and that's why I only posted like one nude picture, because I was just like, yeah, let's do this. And then I was just like, well, I freed myself now. I'm not afraid to be naked and show people my nakedness. But then it's just like, well, I'm not going to become like an actual porn star or something. That's like weird. So it's like, because I don't care. Actually, I'm not actually opposed to it. I just don't really care. I think, but again, yeah, let's not go there. Like, oh, man, I should probably cut this out or something. But anyway, yeah, that's the only reason why I did naked shit, because it was a tool for self growth. But yeah, it was meant to be that, but then everyone took it the wrong way, and I also advertised it as such. So it's just like I can't be angry. That's why I'm never directly being like, screw you guys for like sexualizing me, because I did it myself. Like, it's my fault. I created this problem. So, um, yeah. Thanks for watching.